In my opinion, the square e3 is not meant for the bishop, but instead for the knight. When white moved the bishop to e3, it made the kingside development less than ideal, because where do the knights go now? In order to go for fast development, the knight from h1 would go to f2 and the knight from f1 should go to g3. Then again, if the knights would have gone to e3 and g3, the dark squared bishop would not be an active piece. So maybe both ideas are playable, but Stockfish 10 does not really like to move bishop e3 and it gives black a clear advantage at depth 35, but maybe the engine is a bit too optimistic about black's chances. The idea behind 4c3 was probably to open a better diagonal for the light squared bishop and prepare the move d4. Unfortunately, this move has a clear drawback: it weakens the square d3 with disastrous consequences. This was actually so bad of a move that Stockfish 10 gives black advantage of 1.53 pawns at depth 33. A move like 4 knight hg3, for instance, would have kept the position as roughly equal at depth 28. Bishop c5 was a horrible move according to the engine, and after that the position should be close to being lost, as the engine gives white advantage of 1.59 pawns at depth 30. An example line might go 7 bishop takes c5, knight takes c5, 8 d4, knight e6, knight queen d2, d6, 10 d5, knight ef4. Improvements to the move played in the game are 6 knight gf4 and 6 a5. The idea behind 10 bishop b3 was probably to improve the location of the piece, but actually it just gets into trouble immediately, like in the game continuation where I just replied with 10 knight c5, which threatens both the fork on d3 and just taking on b3 twice and win a pawn. My opponent then had to decide whether to trade bishops or retreat with the bishop back to c2. My opponent decided to go with the former, but the latter is the preferred choice of the engine. Instead of 10 bishop b3, the engine suggests moves such as 10 b3, 10 knight f g3 and 10 knight d2 in order to keep the position roughly even. The position after this is losing for white, according to Stockfish 10 at depth 28. Example line would go 12 f5, b4, knight a4, e takes f5, queen takes f5 check, e4, queen f7. Black does have a much better position, but converting this into a win would still not be an easy task in my opinion. It was a much better idea to play 12 rook c2. 14 knight c1 was a better idea than 14 knight eg3, because the knight now controls the very important square d3, so that it can be followed up with 15 knight d2, which would drive the menacing queen away. If white could go for queen e2 next, we might have actually reached the same position as we did in the game. The trade of queens was very favorable for me, and I should have a winning position, at least according to Stockfish 10, giving me advantage of 1.66 pawns at depth 32. That advantage given by the engine did not last long, as I threw it away with the move 16 rook b6. White should have played 15 knight f5, and the position would have been only slightly in my favor. There were horrible moves played by both sides between this and my previous comment, but as they happened almost every move, I decided not to go through them all and instead look at the final mistake, 35 king e6. After this the game is completely lost for me. In order to keep this roughly even position, I would have needed to play 35 knight a7. That being said, the more interesting option would be 35 knight takes b4, because the knight can't be taken in view of a3 and the resulting endgame is clearly winning for black, because the pawn should promote. Example line would go 35 knight takes b4, a takes b4, a3, 37 king c2, a2.